Good evening, student. So today is your exam preparation class of M.Ed paper 1, philosophy of educations, right, guys? So I have given you, all the notes and books 3-4 months before, right? Today we will discuss a whole paper, right? Paper 1, philosophy of educations. So side by side, I open the notes also, right? This is my PDF file of 143, 145 pages. I have already given you, okay, many days above. So first of all, we discuss the syllabus, right? This is our syllabus, guys. Okay. I'm giving you 1 minute. Please take your copy and pen so that you can note the important thing, right? Later on, you will get the video. No worries. But, if you can note it, so please take a 1 minute and take your pen and copy. So this is an important because this is the exam preparation class. I will tell you, lot of tips, the important questions, okay, how the examiner would ask the questions, how the examiner would frame the questions, okay. So many things I'll discuss. So it would be benefited for you if you take copy and pen, you can note it, right, guys? This is the important, okay. And those who are viewing my lecture online, right? So first take the copy and pen, right? This is the philosophy of education. I'm giving you a 1 minute. Okay, many have joined. This is the PPT, right? This is all about the PPT. So we will discuss PPT along with your PDF, your notes also, right? These are the 145 pages, okay, and these are the PPT. Okay, we'll discuss side by side. Don't worry if you didn't attend. Okay, today you will learn it. I hope you have got the copy and pen. So I started, right? So I start with the syllabus. This is your syllabus, philosophy of education, right? Just see the syllabus. In a unit 1, educational philosophy, knowledge, then please mute yourself, all of you. Then Indian School of Philosophy, then Western School of Philosophy, right? Unit 3rd May. And then the 4th is the contributions of the Indian thinkers, Vivekanand, Aurobindo, Tagore, and Gandhi, right? So this is your all about the syllabus, right? So first I come on the slide. So, okay, guys, from here, I'm going to start your paper 1, philosophy of educations, right? This is your theory papers. Okay, these are the 4 papers. First, philosophy of education. Second, sociology of education. Third, curriculum study. And fourth is a teacher education. Okay, these 4 papers are of your theory paper in a M.Ed semester 2. And 2 papers are of your practical paper. One is synopsis and second is internship file, right? And practical paper mostly happens after the theory paper. Immediately after the theory paper, the way you have got the date sheet of theory paper on the website, the same you will get the date sheet of the practical paper on the website. Okay, I will also inform you, right? So we focus our paper 1, philosophy of education. So first we discuss about the education. So what is the education? Education is a never ending process of one's inner growth and development. Okay, education is a lifelong process. That's why it is called that education starts from the cradle and end in grave, right? वो देखो cradle से grave में आदमी मर जाता है, but education never ends, right? John Dewey हुए हैं. You have to remember the name in this paper. Now you have to remember some of the name also, because this is paper of philosophy of education. In this paper, the most important topics are Indian School of Philosophy and Western School of Philosophy, right? Under the Western School of a philosophy, you have to talk about idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, and existentialism, right? And under the Indian School of a Philosophy, we'll talk about Gandhi, Aurobindo, Tagore, right? So you have to learn some of the name also. Okay. When I say that Jean-Jacques Rousseau, so you should know that Jean-Jacques Rousseau is the father of naturalism, right? When I talk about the Plato, so you should know that Plato is the father of the idealism, right? So you have the copy and pen. You can also note that some of the name you can write it, and it would be easy for you to learn your paper 1, right? So education is a never ending process. and I was talking about John Dewey. John Dewey, who was John Dewey? John Dewey was the pragmatist. In his one of the book, I think he has written in 1938, right? We will cover in this slide also. The name of the book is Education and Experience. And in his book, John Dewey has said that all the, life is a, education, and all the education is a experience. So he has written the book. The name of the book is Education and Experience. So guys, education is a never ending process. Okay. So now we talk about the literally meaning of education. It is derived from the three word. Okay, you must remember being teacher and principals. The three words are educare, eduseer, and educatum. Educare means to bring up or to nourish or to raise up, right? So you have to, nourish your students. Second is eduseer. Eduseer means whenever you are teaching to your student, you do not have to put into the mind of the student. Student mind is not a, dustbin. Okay, whatever you put into the mind, what you have to do that, see second word, eduseer. You have to lead out, you have to draw out from the mind of the student. This is the real teacher. This is the effective teaching. Okay, who is a teacher? Teacher is not a person who is putting, into the mind of the student. Basically, you have to make the student, you have to motivate the student, you have to arouse the learning power of the student, so that students could learn by themselves, right? This is the aim of the teaching. And from your teaching skills, you have to motivate, you have to arouse the learning power of the student, right? So you have to lead out. Third is educatum. Educatum means to train or act of a teaching or learning, right? Next, guys, I will also suggest you, okay, one I have told you, you have to learn some of the names, and along with the names, if you learn 5 or 6 definitions, okay, and you can fit these 5 6 definitions or up to the 10 definitions into your paper 1. In fact, other paper also, second paper is a sociology of education, third is a curriculum study, and fourth is a teacher education. Okay, so these are the some common definitions, 8 or 10 definitions you can fit in any of the paper. And when you write the definitions, you can get the extra number, okay, instead of other students, okay, who didn't write it. So in education, and these are the important definition, every teacher and principal must know that. What the Rig Veda has said. According to the Rig Veda, by education is a something which makes a man self-reliant and selfless. Upanishads, whatever Upanishad says, education is that whose end product is salvation. Salvation means mukti, right? Swami Vivekananda, it is most important, and Swami Vivekananda is in your syllabus, right? Swami Vivekananda has said that education is the manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in a man. अब मुझे बताओ, tell me, okay, when the baby born, okay, so he comes with these divine perfection. Swami Vivekananda, who was an educationist, who was an Indian thinker, okay, we learn a lot of quotations of Swami Vivekananda, Gandhi, Tagore ji, okay, in our education system. So he has said that education is a manifestation of the divine perfection already existing in a man. So guys, with your character, with your teaching, you have to arouse these all the things from the mind of the student. And the Mahatma Gandhi has said that by education, I mean an all round trying out of the best in child and man, body, mind, and spirit. Okay. You never forget these definitions. Okay. The same you have already done in B.Ed also. So education, we are done it, right? The meaning of education, literally meaning of education, some of the definitions. Now we talk about the philosophy. What is a philosophy? Philosophy basically is derived from the two word. Okay, see on the slide, the two word is a philos and sophia. Philos means love and sophia means philos means love and sophia means wisdom, right? So what is the meaning of a philosophy? Philosophy means love of wisdom. Love of wisdom. I'm not talking about love of knowledge. I'm not talking about love of information, love of wisdom. Wisdom is on the higher side. Okay. Knowledge, information, in सबसे ऊपर क्या है? Wisdom है. Right? So you should have a wisdom. You have to become the educate. You do not have to become only literate. Are you getting my point? What the Gandhiji has said that one should be educated. And he has given a one quotation. He has said that an illiterate wife can be more educated than a literate wife. Okay. So being teacher, being principal, you have to become educated. You should have the wisdom. Okay. And Bertrand Russell has said that philosophy, like all other studies, aims primarily at knowledge. Right? In a one line, guys, I clear that you should love for knowledge. You should appetite for the knowledge. Then you are a real teacher. Okay. So because our line is a teacher, we are the, teacher is called the torch bearer of the society. Teacher is called the real image of Brahma. We have to give, knowledge to the society. Okay. When we teach in the class, student, make us as an ideal person. They learn a lot of things. So we should have a knowledge. We should have the such kind of teaching skills so that we can motivate, we can inspire the students. So philosophy means love of wisdom. So now the next topic comes, what is the need of a philosophy? So this is a very important line said by the René Descartes, who was a French philosopher. He said that it is not enough to have a good mind. Again, I say that it is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. Guys, you have to use it. You do not, you don't have to boast that I have done this thing, I have done this thing, I have done this thing. Okay. People should say that, right? Let the student say that. Okay, what you have done it. Let the other person say that what you have done it. Because it is not enough to have a good mind. The main thing is to use it well. Means you have to become practical. You do not have indulge yourself in the thinking process. Thinking is nothing. It is a paralysis of paralysis, nothing else. Always you should act. All right. So what is the need of a philosophy? The study of a philosophy enhances one's ability to think, to speak, to write clearly and critically. Dekho, critically. Okay. Whenever you have to, critically you have to talk about, any of the thing. And again, what is the need of a philosophy? The second point says that to communicate effectively. Third is to form original creative solutions of the problem. Agar if you are a philosopher, only then you can go for a solutions to the problem. Otherwise, you will create a problem. Okay, think yourself. If you boast about yourself, you are a teacher, you are a principal, then guys, in every situation, you should go for a solutions to the problem. Okay, in your personal life, in your student, in your school life, right? You have to become the troubleshooter. You don't have to raise the problem. If the teacher will start creating a problem, then who will solve it? Who will solve it? Right? So that's why there is a need of a philosophy. Are you getting my point? For a teacher, there is a strong need of a philosophy. If you do not have the knowledge of philosophy, if you are a not good philosopher, you can't become a good teacher. You can't. Right? That's why you should have a philosophy. I tell you, I give you one example. For example, you believe in pragmatism philosophy. Okay. You are a pragmatist, right? You do not support the idealistic philosophy. You are it is called ना जैसे कट्टर होते हैं, blind faith. You have a blind faith on the pragmatism philosophy. Okay. Do you think that you are a good teacher? No, you are not a good teacher. Being philosopher, you have to respect every philosophy. This is the purpose of, teacher. This is the purpose of the philosophy. That's why it is said that to form original creative solutions to the problem as well, to develop reasoned arguments of one's view, to develop reasoned arguments of one for one's view, and Next is to appreciate views different from one's own. This is the important. Okay. Sometime now you don't have to become stubborn and you don't have to stick that I'm always right. Okay. अरे teacher का meaning ही sacrifice है करना. Right? If you are in the line of a teacher, you should be ready for the sacrifice. Right? You have to appreciate the views, other views also, to analyze complex material and to investigate difficult questions in a systematic fashion. Okay, philosophy ho gaya. Now we talk about scope, areas, branches of philosophy. So guys, these are the three important. Please note it. Okay, you have a copy and pen. This is the most important. Metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. These are the three branches, scope, areas of a philosophy. Right? Means what does it mean? For example, you know that I have already told you in the starting, in your paper you have a Western school of a philosophy, Indian school of a philosophy, right? Whenever I talk about the Western school of a philosophy, it means idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, right? Existentialism also, right? It is in your syllabus. And when I talk about the Indian school of a philosophy, it means Gandhi, Tagore, Aurobindo. Okay. So guys, whenever we are talking about the idealism school of a philosophy, then we have to explain these three. This is the most important: metaphysics, epistemology, or axiology. Right? These are the scope, branches, or areas of philosophy. Metaphysics means theory of reality. Okay. In the next slide, we'll discuss. Okay. Metaphysics means theory of reality. Right? Epistemology means theory of knowledge. Axiology means theory of values. Okay. In the next slide, we discuss. Okay. What is the meaning of these all things in detail? Right here, you have to learn only. These are the three part of the philosophy, scope of a philosophy. Okay. तो ये देखो metaphysics. आगे ना ये three things है: metaphysics, epistemology, axiology. Now we discuss one after the other. What is the meaning of a metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology? But you must remember, Lalit sir is discussing about scope of philosophy. Okay. And guys, just 5-10 minutes before I have started the lecture, you have to start from there and you have to remain up to the end, because there is a lot of things, they are, interlinked, right? So you have to learn it as a whole. You cannot learn in the part. If you will learn in the part, you cannot understand it. Okay, you have to learn as a whole. Okay, first I discuss about the education, meaning of education, literally meaning of educations, definitions of education. Then I talk about the philosophy. Now I'm discussing about scope, areas of philosophy. Okay, I will discuss metaphysics, epistemology, axiology. After this, I will discuss the topic: what is the relationship between education and philosophy? Okay, because education I've done it. Now I'm talking about the philosophy. Okay, so what is a philosophy? There are philosophy we are done. Scope of philosophy is metaphysics, epistemology, or axiology. Now we understand what is metaphysics. This is the metaphysics, right? Metaphysics always talk about theory of reality. What are the metaphysical questions? What are the metaphysical questions? The questions are: what is reality? Does God exist? And if so, can we prove it? Are human actions free, or they are determined by the some forces outside of our control? What is time? What is the reality of time? What is the meaning of life? From where we have come, where we have to go, right? So these all the metaphysical questions. Okay. So where we can get the answer? We can get the answer under the metaphysics. Metaphysics talks about these questions. We will get the answer of different philosophy of education. Different philosophy of education talks about different reality, right? If you talk about the idealism school of education, idealism school of thought, it talks about metaphysics in the idealistic way. When you're talking about pragmatism school of thought, pragmatism talk about metaphysics or theory of reality in a pragmatistic way, right? And so on. Got it? So metaphysics, you are done it. What is epistemology? Epistemology talk about theory of knowledge. This is the second branch of the philosophy that deals with the theory of a problem of knowledge. The questions are: how we get knowledge? From where we get the knowledge? What is truth? How can we know? What are the sources of knowledge? These are all analyzed under the epistemology. We get the answer under this, right? This is called the epistemology. It talks about knowledge, theory of knowledge. Third aa gaya, it talks about theory of values. And the typical axiological questions are, what are the higher values of life? What are the principles of life? What are the importance of it developing values such as truth, beauty, and goodness? Right? So where we can get the answer? We can get the answer by studying the philosophy. This is the reason philosophy, this paper is in the B.Ed or M.Ed class. Okay. So we will come to know that whether truth, beauty, and goodness, when the baby born, he born with these values, or we create the values and we say the student, we put into the mind of the student, you have to learn it. This thing we have to learn. Got it? Right? So these things we have to learn it. Okay. From where we will get it. Okay. Now we talk about relationship between education and philosophy. Okay. Now think what we are done till now. We are done with the education, meaning of education, literally meaning, definitions, then philosophy, then what is the need of philosophy. Then we discuss about the three branches of philosophy. Okay. Education and philosophy. Now the question arises, is there any relationship exist between the education and philosophy? Can you tell me? You have the copy and pen, please write in the copy and pen if you know the answer, or you will get the answer in the next slide. See, this is the answer. Relationship between education and philosophy. It is said by the Rose, who was an educationist philosopher. He said that education and philosophy is the two sides of the same coin. Education and philosophy are the two sides of the same coin. Okay. When you have to write it, then write it complete definition. The complete is philosophy and education. Education and philosophy are the two sides of the same coin. One is implemented by other. One is implemented by other. Guys, there is a strong relationship between education and philosophy. Okay. There is a strong relationship, right? So in the next slide, we dig more and more. Education and philosophy are closely interrelated. If philosophy is a love of knowledge or love of wisdom, then education is the acquisition of knowledge, right? We get the knowledge through the education. Education is the, ye dekho underline hai, this is the most important. You must know that. Education is the practical side or practical activity of philosophical thought. Whatever we think, whatever we think, okay, we make the philosophy. Look at me. We make the philosophy here. Okay. And we make the philosophy, and when we implement, okay, how we can implement? We can implement through educational institutions, right? That's why this is the close relationship between education and philosophy. Always remember, philosophical thought are implemented through the educational institutions. Got it? So just see the education system of the whole country. Okay, there is a one national education policy, right? Introduced by the government of India, implemented by all. How they can implement? They can implement through the school education, through the educational institutions. So there is a very close relationship between the education and philosophy, right? We make the philosophy, we implement with the help of the education. While we are implementing, again we develop the some knowledge. That knowledge becomes our thought. That thought becomes the philosophy, and that philosophy again we implement with the help of education. Got it? So education is the practical activity of a philosophical thought. The next line is a very much important. Without philosophy, education would be a blind effort. And without education, philosophy would be crippled. Cripple का मीनिंग होता है, द मीनिंग ऑफ ए क्रिपल इज हॉल्ट. Okay, so I checked, so I was thinking that it was not a suitable word, with the context it is not matching. Okay, then I find out the synonym of crippled, then I came to know that paralyzed and disabled. Okay, this is the exact word, that's why I have written. Without philosophy, education would be the blind effort, and without education, philosophy would be crippled, paralyzed, disabled. Right? Halt नहीं, halt paralyzed हो जाएगी. Okay, so this is a, you must know that philosophy is the theory. नीचे देखो, I have written philosophy is the theory, theoretical theory. This is the philosophy. है ना? In our general talk, है ना, when we are in the meeting of our friends, okay, they are discussing the idea, so we say that na most of the time, yaar band kar apni philosophy, close your philosophy, है ना, I'm fed up with your philosophy, we say that na. So philosophy is a thought, practical process, this is a philosophy. And when we implement with the help of educations, so then education is the practical side of the philosophy. That's why Ross has said that education and philosophy are the two sides of the same coin. One is implemented by other, right? And again, education is the applied philosophy. Okay, now we discuss the another subheading, educational philosophy, right? अभी तक हमें we are done with education, we are done with philosophy, we are done with the relationship between education and philosophy. Now we are discussing the educational philosophy, or this question has come in the last year. Educational philosophy क्या चीज है? When we apply the educational philosophy is the applications of the principles of the philosophy into the field of education. When we apply the principles and applications of principles of philosophy into the field of education. देखो, पढ़ो इसको, समझो. Okay, first we should know the philosophy, and when we apply the principles of philosophy or applications of philosophy where into the field of education, for which purpose? In order to solve education problems, that philosophy becomes the educational philosophy. Okay, in the simple terms, guys, please understand, education is a full-fledged of problems. There is a problem in every step in the field of education. Okay, there is a problem in curriculum, there is a problem of student learning, there is a problem in teachers, there is a problem in on the accent level. There is a lot of problem in the educational field. But when we apply the philosophy into the educational field, when we try to solve the solution, okay, with the help of a philosophical thought, then it becomes the educational philosophy. Okay, and in the simple term, definition is given. Right now, I'm just reading the definition. Educational philosophy is the application of principles of philosophy into the field of education in order to improve educational process. This is called the educational philosophy. It is the practical application of the philosophical assumption to the various aspects of education. That's why it is called now. If you don't know the philosophy now, you cannot solve the educational problems. Okay, you cannot become the effective teacher. Ye dekho, it is written, right? Sometimes there is a problems. If you have a philosophical mind, only then you can solve it, right? This is the reason psychology is also important. Okay, because in a psychological way you solve the problem. Psychological way, if you have a good knowledge of a psychology, right, so then you can solve the individual problem. Okay, individual problem is also a problem in the field of education. Hana, student is not learning, what is the reason behind it? Okay, teacher must have the psychological knowledge. So educational psychology talks about the individual. But educational philosophy talks about in general. Got it? Educational philosophy talks about the general problem. Philosophy solves the general problem of education, right? And when we talk about the psychology, educational psychology solves the individual problem of the student. Got it? तो आपका साइकोलॉजी भी पेपर है. इन द फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर यू हैव गिवन द पेपर साइकोलॉजी ऑफ लर्निंग एंड डेवलपमेंट, राइट, वेयर यू डिस्कस ऑल द टॉपिक्स, ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट, different theories, learning theory, intelligence theory, right? So here now we are discussing the philosophy. And what is educational philosophy? Educational philosophy is the application of a principle of a philosophy into the field of a education in order to solve the educational problem, right? नेक्स्ट देखो लास्ट में क्या लिखा हुआ है. It is an attempt by the educationist and teachers. You are the educationist, you are the teacher, to take philosophy into the field of education to solve educational problems. Right? ये क्वेश्चन ना लास्ट टाइम आया हुआ है. ओके, आई शो यू द क्वेश्चन आल्सो. ये देखो साइड बाय साइड वी हैव ओपन द नोट्स आल्सो ना. ये देखिए गाइस, दिस इज योर, ये लास्ट ईयर पेपर. ये देखो ये लास्ट ईयर पेपर है आपका, राइट? और ये देखो यूनिट 1 में, अंडर द यूनिट 1, ये देखो व्हाट इज एजुकेशनल फिलॉसफी, ब्रिंग आउट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन फिलॉसफी एंड एजुकेशन. देख रहे हो ये, राइट? तो दिस क्वेश्चन हैज कम, राइट? इसको सारे को मैं पहले ब्लैक करता हूं, ओके, देन आई शो यू. नाउ इट इज, ये देखो, दिस इज द पेपर, लास्ट ईयर पेपर, first compulsory questions, 4 compulsory question comes, okay, then under a unit 1 this question has come. ये देखो, it is a full-fledged question, 14 marks. Now I'm going to highlight it. ये देखो आ गया ना. What is educational philosophy? You are done. Bring out the relationship between education and philosophy. We are done. First questions, okay. In the in the notes you can see that. ये देखो, ये रहा, this is the, what is the educational philosophy? Bring out the relationship between philosophy and education. The second questions, ये देखो सारा का सारा I have discussed here. So I have taken the points from here in the PPT, so that with the help of a PPT now you can understand better, right? But I have taken all the points from the notes which I have already given you 4 months before, right? ये देखो ये सारे, ये था needs of a philosophy, right? ये सारा का सारा, ठीक है guys? Then we move back to our slide, educational philosophy, okay? Okay, next our topic is philosophy of education. Okay, so these are the Western school of a philosophy: idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, realism. Realism was missing actually now when I was saying in the starting, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 Western school of education, right? अब guys देखो क्या है. अब when we talk about the idealism, okay. So whenever because this is the exam preparation class, so I have to talk about some of the tips of, right? Ab examiner can never give you the simple question. Examiner cannot simple say that, okay, define the idealism and define the metaphysics, epistemology and axiology of the idealism. He can never write like that. Okay, what he will do that, right? He will write that, define what are the, he will talk that what are the concept of reality, knowledge and values of idealism. So it means you have to talk about metaphysics, epistemology and axiology, right? ये देखो, with हमें idealism, ये all the 5 isms, all the 5 Western school of education, we have to learn with respect to metaphysics, epistemology or axiology. Or you can say that all the isms we have to learn with respect to concept of reality, knowledge and values. Got my point? यहां से देखो, now the concept would be clear. Western school of philosophy: idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, existentialism and Marxism. Okay, right? I think Marxism, it also would be in your syllabus. अगर नहीं है तो उसको छोड़ देना, ठीक है? Please leave the Marxism, it is not in your syllabus. Otherwise idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, existentialism है, right? you have to learn these all the philosophy with special reference to concept of reality, knowledge and values. What is the concept of reality? It is a metaphysics which I talked about, the scope of philosophy. That's why I told you please learn it, right? Metaphysics is the concept of reality. Knowledge means epistemology. Values means axiology. Got my point, na? Don't worry. In the coming slide, we'll discuss isms. Then you will come to know that, right? And sometimes, examiner asks the questions, what are the aims, contents, and method of educations of Gandhi ji? Yeah, what are the aims, content, and method of education of idealism? Then you have to talk about educational implications of idealism. Okay, so this is a very important point. Please note it. In the coming slide, you will come to learn it. Okay, if the concept is not clear, you can again message me or call me to get this concept, right, guys? Otherwise, concept would be clear to you, right? Or otherwise, I show you the paper, the last year paper. ये देखो, in the last year paper, it is written, ये देखो, 7th question देखो. What is the 7th question? Define pragmatism, discuss its importance in the field of education. What does it mean? Here, you have to talk about pragmatism and you have to talk about the three things. Three things of in the field of education means educational implications. You have to talk about aims of education. You have to talk about curriculum. You have to talk about methods of instruction. Okay. Although you can talk about metaphysics, epistemology or axiology, but a little bit. Okay. Means, abhi dekho hota kya hai, what happens? You have gone through whole of the syllabus, you have learned it, but not only you have to mug the things. Okay, you should know that what the examiner is asking, right? Ab ye question aa gaya, the question has come. For example, one student has written 7 pages you have to fill. Okay, one student has written define pragmatism. For example, 1.5 page he has written about pragmatism. Okay, about the pragmatism, and rest of the 5.5 pages he has elaborated metaphysics, epistemology or axiology, and little bit about the education. He will not get the good marks. Okay, first of all, you have to learn the question once, twice, thrice to know that what the examiner is asking. Because this paper is easy, only the examiner will mold the question. Here, at least 5 pages, you have to talk about the educational implications of pragmatism. Means you have to talk about what are the aims of education according to pragmatism, what are the method of instruction according to pragmatism, and what are the curriculum according to the pragmatism. This is the meaning of, educational implication, which I have written in the slide. ये देखो, implications of, ये देखो, Western school of a philosophy, only 2 type questions becomes. One type is that define idealism, write the metaphysics, epistemology and axiology of idealism. Okay, but the examiner will ask from you, write the concept of reality, knowledge and values of idealism. Okay, and the second question, just we have seen that in pragmatism, define the importance of a pragmatism in the field of education. It means we have to discuss about implications, educational implications. See on the slide, aims of pragmatism, contents of pragmatism and methods of education. Okay, don't worry, we discuss one ism, you will come to know that. Okay, so now we are discussing Western school of a philosophy, idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, existentialism, and Marxism. Okay, ab now, my dear friends, how we have to proceed? ये देखो, ये है हमारे ism सारे, right? Idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, realism, and existentialism. Okay, so how we have to proceed? We will discuss in every ism. We will discuss number 1, meaning and little bit history. Then second, we will discuss about major postulates or facts or belief. Okay. Under the major facts, we will talk about metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. Third, we will discuss about educational implication, which talks about aims of education, curriculum, and method of teaching. And last, my conclusion is also important. Okay, but you get a 2 marks of the conclusion. Okay, you have to write at least, you know, 1 page of conclusion or half page, more than half page of conclusion, right? So here are the 1, 2, and 3 points. Okay, when we will talk about idealism, we have to talk about, means we have to write it, method and history of idealism, major postulates of idealism, then educational implications. Okay, under the major postulates or major facts, we have to talk about again 3 things: metaphysics, epistemology, axiology. And under the educational implications, again we have to discuss about the 3 things: aims of education, curriculum, and method of teaching. Just we have seen the question, the last year has come. Okay, ये देखो यहाँ पे again I show you, because this is the important. ये देखो, define pragmatism, discuss its importance in the field of education. Okay, here what we have to write, here we have to talk about meaning and little bit history of pragmatism. Okay, then little bit about the metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology, and lot of pages we have to fill, around 4 or 5 pages. We have to talk about number 3rd, aims of education, curriculum, and method of teaching. Okay, because examiner asked the 3rd thing in elaborated way. Got it? So ये सारे isms हैं, ये 3 चीजें, keeping in view that these 3 things you have to define all Western school of philosophy, all Indian school of philosophy, or and other part also with respect to educations. Okay, and I'm giving you one example, right? So I'm starting the idealism, right? So now we are starting the topic, one school of education, Western school of education, which is a idealism, right? So what we will discuss in the idealism, we will discuss meaning and history of idealism, major facts of idealism. Under the major facts, we will discuss metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. And again, we will discuss educational implication, aims of education, curriculum, and method of teaching, right? Means, what does it means, guys? When I will talk about metaphysics of idealism, it means I have to write metaphysics according to the idealism. Okay, when curriculum according to idealism, we have to write curriculum what the idealism says that. Okay, so I'm going to start it. Idealism. So idealism talk about the ideas, thought, minds, soul. Idealism talk about reality, spiritual reality, right? Beyond this world. Okay, transcendentalism. So ये सारे के सारे words, all the words suits to the idealism, right? Idealism talks about ideas, thoughts, minds, selves, rather than material objectives and forces. Okay, he is a Plato, right? Plato is the father of idealism. According to the Plato has said that ultimate reality lies in the ideas. Ideas are real, things are not real. Okay, ultimate reality lies in the ideas. Okay, and ideas are real, things are not real. Chief interpreter, exponent, supporter of idealism कौन कौन है? ये देखो, सॉक्रेट, प्लेटो, रेने देकार्ते, जॉर्ज बार्कले, कांत, फिच, हीगल, अरबिंदो घोष, स्वामी विवेकानंद. You must some of the name. You must know some of the name. That's why I told you, in this paper, please write on a 1 page. Okay, you will learn it. It's a very easy. Right? I'll make it easy for you. Don't worry. Okay. So Socrates कौन था? Who was Socrates? Socrates was a teacher of Plato. Right? और प्लेटो का स्टूडेंट कौन था जिन्होंने एक फिलॉसफी दी थी? The name of that person is, he has given, one of the philosophy, realism, right? Realism was given by the one of the disciple of Plato. Okay, can you tell me, please? Yes, Aristotle. Yes, Aristotle, right, guys? Aristotle. Okay. And Rene Descartes. But these all are the Socrates, Plato, Rene Descartes, George, Berkeley, Kant, Fitch, Hegel, Aurobindo Ghosh, Swami Vivekanand are the idealistic. Okay. In the idealism, when the idealism question comes, you can write some of the names. Okay. You will get a good marks. Okay. So we move to the second slide. According to Plato, what the Plato has said. Okay, isko samajhna, then you will come to know. Plato has said that universal ideas, number second, ideas of everyday experience. And Plato says that there are two types of idea. One is universal and one is idea of everyday experience. Along with that, Plato says that universal ideas are more real than the ideas of everyday experience. Okay. Universal ideas are eternal, unchanging, universal. Or ideas of everyday experience is physical world or phenomenal world. For example, in a layman language, I tell you, idealism says that, there are two type of ideas. Means we are in the physical world. Okay. And this is called the ideas of everyday experience. We are also means our soul somewhere is in the beyond this materialistic world. Okay. That soul exists. That this is called the universal idea. Okay. नेक्स्ट समझो आप इसको, रेने देकार्ते, व्हाट द रेने देकार्ते हैज सेड. अब देखो, नाउ द कंसेप्ट इज क्लियर ना. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट रेने देकार्ते. नाउ यू हैव कम टू नो दैट सर इज टॉकिंग अबाउट आइडियलिज्म, है ना. दैट्स व्हाई यू मस्ट नो द नेम. ओके. व्हेन आई टॉक अबाउट द जीन जैकस रूसो, तो जीन जैकस रूसो इज नॉट एसोसिएटेड विद द आइडियलिज्म. जीन जैकस रूसो इज एसोसिएटेड विद द नेचुरलिज्म. Right? When I'm talking about the John Dewey, so John Dewey is not associated with the idealism, not associated with the naturalism. John Dewey is associated with the pragmatism. Okay. William James, C. Sanders. That's why you must know some of the names, right? So Rene Descartes, who was also a idealistic person, right, French philosopher, has said that mind and spirit can't be separated. The higher the mind, the higher the spirit. That's why he has said that I think, therefore I am. Okay. So दो quotations हमें पता लग गई हैं. First, Plato talks about universal ideas and ideas of everyday experience. Right? Plato talks about the two world. Again, Rene Descartes has said that mind and spirit can't be separated. Third, Kant has said that, Immanuel Kant has said that there are two types of world. One is called the nominal world, second is called the phenomenal world. In a nominal world, thing in itself. In a phenomenal world, physical material. Means idealism wants to say that this is all the world we are looking now. We are looking the objects, we are looking the ponds, rivers, sky, we are looking the human beings. They are all the phenomenal world. They all are the ideas of everyday experience, right? And they all also exist somewhere in the world. Okay, which is a eternal, which is a unchanging, and is called the nominal world. Okay, Kant also said that. Up, by getting up all the little bit history, we have come to know that the fundamental principle of idealism क्या है? Number one, idealism believes in two type of a world. है ना? ये तो clear हो गया. Two type of a world. One is a spiritual world. One is a materialistic world. Along with, idealism says that idealism give more importance to the spiritual world. Idealism is not denying the this physical world. Okay, idealism says that this physical world is a copy of the spiritual world. Okay, जैसे परछाई होती है, shadow होती है, तो this is a shadow. We are moving in the shadow, right? After 70 or 80 years, okay, there is another place where we have to go. This is a spiritual world. Okay, so that's why they have said that mind and soul can't be separated. The higher the mind, the higher the soul. Right, guys? Third is idealistic belief that spiritual world is real and the ultimate truth, where the material world is a transitory and mortal. To them, next is, to them, ideas are the ultimate reality. They are the eternal and unchanging. To them, God is the supreme force. They believe in the God. Okay, one who having the idealistic philosophy, he says that God exists. God is a supreme force, which is a omnipotent, which is a omnipresent, right? अब ये देखो मेजर फैक्ट्स है ना, वही है ना, मैंने बताया ना, तीन चीजें हमने करनी है हर एक की. नंबर वन, लिटिल बिट हिस्ट्री, okay, or fundamental principle. Second, we have to talk about major facts. Under the major facts, three things we will do: metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. And third, we have to do the educational implications. Again, under the educational implication, we have to discuss the three things: aims of education, curriculum and method of instruction, and then conclusion. Then we our one questions, you know, we attempt our one questions and getting the full marks. Okay, so now we talk about what is metaphysics, means theory of reality according to idealism, what is the theory of knowledge according to idealism, and what is the theory of value according to idealism, right? So first we talk about metaphysics according to idealism. Number first, reality. Reality is a mentalist concept. Mind is real. Idealism says that mind is real. Look at me, mind. Here is the mind. Mind is real. Talking about the mind. Okay. Whenever we say the mind, na, our hands goes here. Na. Why our hand doesn't go to the knee? Goes here. Mind. Mind is the ultimate reality. God. They believe in God. Transcendentalism. Transcendentalism means beyond the word. Reality lies beyond the word. Transcends the objects. All reality lies in the transcendental mind. Self. आत्मा, सेल्फ क्या चीज है? सेल्फ इज ए अकिन टू माइंड, मतलब सेम है माइंड की तरह. ओके, आइडियलिज्म सेज दैट माइंड एंड सेल्फ कांट बी सेपरेटेड. ओके, द हायर द माइंड द हायर द स्पिरिट. देखो, नाउ वी आर डन ना, इट वाज सेड बाय द क्या नाम था उनका, रेने देकार्ते. ओके, तो देखो, दैट्स व्हाई ना वी कैन यू नो पुट इन द आंसर आल्सो. इवन इन द नोट्स, आई these all things I have taken from the notes which I have already given you 4-5 months back. Right, guys? Rene Descartes says that I think, therefore I am. Absolute self, absolute mind has absolute self. Epistemology means knowledge kahan se aati hai, right? According to the idealism, we get the knowledge through rational faculties and reasoning. Rational faculties and reasoning, मतलब mind. याद रखना, आइडियलिज्म वालों ने कहा था माइंड इज, ये लिखा हुआ है, माइंड इज ए चैम्बर ऑफ यू नो नॉलेज, चैम्बर ऑफ माइंड. ये देखो, इट इज रिटन फॉर आइडियलिस्टिक. Okay, I read from starting. Epistemology according to idealism, we get knowledge through rational faculties and reasoning. One of the supporter of idealism, Hegel, gave dialectical reasoning. For idealists, all knowledge is independent of sense experience. ये देखो, ये सेंसेस की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, राइट? ऑल नॉलेज इज इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ सेंसेस. जबकि नाउ इन दिस नाउ ना we discuss, most people they believe that we get the knowledge through senses, but what the idealism says that knowledge is independent of senses. The act of knowing takes place in the chamber of mind. Okay, there is no relations of the senses, or 5 senses hoti hai, we get the knowledge, right? Eyes, look, see, touch. Okay, so they are independent of sense experience. The mind is the active and such as a gateway of knowledge. Yes, isko underline kar lo, this is the most important. Mind is active and such the gateway of knowledge. This thing na, you have to talk under the idealism only. Yaad rakhna. Okay, you cannot talk in the pragmatism, you cannot talk in naturalism, you cannot talk in realism. Okay, these all things according to the idealism, because we are discussing the metaphysics of idealism. The highest knowledge is the knowledge of a spiritual reality, Brahm Gyan, or knowledge self. Up now we talk about axiology according to the idealism. According to the idealism, values are eternal and permanent. Values are intrinsic, not extrinsic. Ab dekho, from here the concept has cleared. Truth, beauty, and goodness. When the baby born, he or she bonds with values. Okay, values are intrinsic. Now the teacher has to lead out that values from the mind of the student by acting that. Okay, values are absolute, not relative. The goal of a life is the realization of these values. Mind is not inventor, but a discoverer of these values. देखो, his discovery is only possible through the awakening of spirit. Okay, so we are done with major facts of idealism. Okay, we are done with metaphysics of idealism, epistemology of idealism, and axiology of idealism. Now we have to discuss educational implications of idealism. Under this, again, we will discuss the three things: aims of education, curriculum, and method of teaching. Right? Simple है ये. Aims of education according to idealism is self-realization, spiritual development, character formation, preparation of holy life, development of internal values, cultural development, universalization of education. अब क्या मीनिंग हुआ? What is the meaning of this? Guys, my dear friends, the meaning of this is that you have to teach to the student, keeping in view that they are developing the self-realization. Okay, you are discussing the spiritual development. Is their character formation? Means education should be such type, it should promote the character formation. It should make the preparation for holy life. Right? And guys, in our culture, in our India, okay, we are honored, we are blessed, we are honored, we are having the such, religious education. Even when you talk about the America, Japan, France, Canada, okay, they have the lack of these values. Right? So this is the reason now most of the NRI families, generally I'm talking about, okay, they are settled in abroad, but they want that their kids should get the education from India. Okay, so such kind of education we have to teach according to the idealism, according to the idealistic teacher, whosoever the idealistic teacher will promote these type of education and universalization of education. हमारी देखो न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन ऑफ एजुकेशन का कॉन्सेप्ट है. डू यू नो दैट ना? न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2020 में it talks about universalization of education, it talks about cultural development. Okay, it also talk about the character formations. Yes, I have read it, new education policy. So guys, always remember, new education policy has made na by taking some points from the idealism philosophy, some from naturalism, some from pragmatism. Okay, this is the reason. These all the philosophy one teacher or principals must know. Curriculum according to the idealism, what type of a curriculum should be there? Under the curriculum, idealistic, basically they gave first priority to the arts subject, then the physical sciences. They give prime importance to the subject like history, fine art, poetry, ethics, and religion should be included in the curriculum. They emphasize on the subject like religion, ethics, philosophy, history, and literature. Okay, they say that it should be included in the curriculum and science should be taught at the later. Okay, because idealistic, they think that science and these kind of a subject, okay, they are the away from the reality. Okay, but we have to make the student close to the reality. Okay, because the first aim of a idealism is kya hai? You have to remember the first aim of education, self-realization. Okay, you must know it. Naturalism का क्या है? First aim of education we will discuss self-expression. Right? So now curriculum, last आ गया method of teaching. Okay, how we have to teach being of idealistic teacher. Method like lecture, questioning and discussions are considered very important. Platonic method, ये देखो Plato था ना, Plato was a founder of father of idealism. Okay, Platonic method on that time, Plato used to deliver contents to the students with the help of an inductive and deductive method. Socrates, he talks about dialogue form, okay, who was a teacher of Plato. Okay, learning through memorization and imitations has also been suggested. Rene Descartes employed the method from simple to complex. Okay, first understand the simple things to the students, then take them to the complex. Okay, logical method of Hegel has also been suggested. So guys, we are done with pragmatism. We are done with idealism, right? यहां तक आइडियलिज्म हो गया, राइट? व्हाट वी आर डन इट. वापस आता हूं मैं, ये देखो. right? This is idealism, है ना? We are discuss meaning and history of idealism. We are discuss major facts of idealism. Three facts: metaphysics, epistemology, axiology. We are discuss educational implications, aims of education, curriculum, method of teaching. Last में conclusion. Idealism is done. Okay. Now we discuss pragmatism. Question is given in the notes. Okay, same. I have taken all the things from the notes. Okay, and with the help of a PPT, I'm just discussing with you because it will help you to learn and understand in an effective way. Right now, we discuss the pragmatism. Ab okay, pragmatism ko. I need your more attentions. Right. So again, in a pragmatism, we'll talk history and meaning, major facts, educational implications. Right. So pragmatism. Now pragmatism affirms that give me only 10 seconds, huh? Because I need a water. Abhi, you can take the water. Today we'll discuss, three, four isms. Okay, today you will become the philosopher. Okay, pragmatism affirms that reality of everything lies in the material thing, not in the ideas, thoughts, and mind. Have you got one thing? So pragmatism is opposed to idealism. What the pragmatism is saying? Pragmatism affirms that reality of everything lies in the material things, not in the ideas, not in the thought, not in the mind. Pragmatism is it is a opposite side of the idealism. Pragmatists give more importance to the actions rather than ideas. Got it? अब देखो, pragmatism believe that reality is constantly changing. What the idealism was saying, that reality is eternal, unchanging. Pragmatism is saying that reality is a changing. There is a no absolute reality, unchanging truth होता ही नहीं है, right? ये देखो, ये सेंटेंस है, चार्ल्स सेंडर्स पियर्स. Okay, he was a American philosopher. Okay, he gave the concept of pragmatism, right? And this is a photo of image of William James. Up now, chief exponent, interpreter of supporter of idealisms are Heraclitus, okay, Sophists. Actually, now it is coming in front of this. Okay, now it is clear to me. Now it is clear. Heraclitus, Sophists, C.S. Pierce. इसका नाम नहीं भूलना. You have to remember. C.S. Pierce, Charles Sanders Peirce. He was an American philosopher. He gave the concept of pragmatism in 19th century, right? In the starting of 20th century. William James, John Dewey. ये देखो आगे ना, John Dewey. You can pronounce as John Dewey. Some pronounce as a John Dewey, right? John Dewey, Patrick. Always you should remember the name. G.H. Meads, Burton Russells. ये सारे के सारे questions ना, it comes in the seated paper, right? Project method का आता है sometimes. Who gave the project method? Student mostly they do the mistake. They take the name of John Dewey. Okay, John Dewey has done a lot of things in the education. Okay, but project method was given by the Kilpatrick, who was a disciple of John Dewey. Okay, so these are the supporters of pragmatism. Okay, in the next slide, pragmatism क्या है? Pragmatism, it is an action philosophy. It existed during the 19th century by an American philosopher, Charles Sanders Peirce. C.S. Peirce, he is an American philosopher. He wrote an article in 1874, how to make our ideas more clear. He said, the meaning of an idea is found in putting that idea into the practice. The result not only give the meaning of the idea, but also tell that whether the idea is worth of expectance or not. Okay, it means that you have some idea. Okay, unless you put the idea into the action, how will you come to know that that particular idea which having in your mind, whether it is a correct or incorrect? So pragmatism believes in the action philosophy. Pragmatism says that put the idea into the action. Your action will tell the answer to you. Your action will tell you whether your idea is correct or incorrect. Okay, so this is a pragmatism philosophy. Okay, he does not consider the, you know, reality lies in the ideas. Reality lies in the, it is a eternal reality. Okay, they do not believe it. ओके ये हिस्ट्री और मीनिंग है लिटिल बिट ओके जल्दी से मैं पढ़ता हूं हेराक्लिटस ने बोला है वन कैनॉट स्टेप ट्वाइस इनटू द सेम रिवर ही आल्सो सेड दैट द सन इज ए न्यू एवरी डे हाउ कैन यू से दैट okay it is a eternal changing okay hence reality is a changeable not ultimate as said in the idealism. Number second is the Sophists. Who were Sophists? Sophists were the traveling teachers of Greece. They were the skepticism and empiricism. Skepticism ka means hota who having the doubt on the God, right? Empiricism means logical. They doubted on the existing of God. They say that we get the knowledge by senses. देखो आगे ना we get the mean. Pragmatism says that we get the knowledge by senses, not from the ideas. Or on the other side, idealism, what the idealism says that from where we get the knowledge, we get the knowledge through the mind and our rational faculties. Mind is the gateway of the chamber, right? So here you can talk about senses are the gateway of the knowledge. On the idealism side, mind is the gateway of the knowledge, or here are the senses are the gateway of the knowledge. You can write it, right? Number third, Charles C.S. Peirce, an American philosopher. He wrote an article in 1874. Already we had discussed how to make our ideas more clear. The meaning of idea is found in putting that idea into the practice. William James, one another name in the pragmatism, very famous name. He put the ideas given by Peirce in religion and psychology. John Dewey, ये देखो ये नाम you never have to, okay, you always have to remember, right? John Dewey. In 1938, he wrote the book Experience and Education. Okay, in my starting lecture, na, I quote this, quotation. In this book, he said, all experience is education and all education is experience. And last, Kilpatrick, he was a chief proponent of project method. He was influenced by the John Dewey pragmatism principle. What are the fundamental principle of a pragmatism? Number one, nothing is fixed and final in this world. There is a no ultimate reality. Number second, they lays great emphasis on the activity rather than ideas. Number third, pragmatism believes that reality is in making process. Number four, pragmatism believes that man creates his own values during the course of activity. Number fifth, pragmatism is a utilitarian philosophy which holds that the reality of a principle lies in its utility. Okay. Up guys, wahi metaphysics, epistemology or axiology, we will discuss what is the theory of reality, knowledge and values according to the pragmatism. Okay, here we have to do. So according to the pragmatism, what is the metaphysics? Reality. Pragmatism believe that reality goes on changing. There is no ultimate reality. Concept of God. They neither believe in God nor disbelieve in the God. According to William James, if the hypothesis of a God works satisfactorily in the widest sense of the word, then it is true. Okay. Idealism में तो था ना. Idealism to firmly believe on the existence of God. Now in the pragmatism, when the questions comes, you have to write. And according to the pragmatism, they don't believe in the God, neither disbelieve in the God. Okay, they say that if any of the faith of any of the person satisfy his or her problem, faith, okay, then you have to faith on the God, right? Otherwise it is not true. Okay, if faith on the God satisfying you, then it is true according to the metaphysics of the pragmatism. Got it? मैन एंड सोसाइटी, दे रिगार्ड द मैन एंड सोसाइटी इज इंसेपरेबल. अब ये देखो, मैन एंड सोसाइटी इज इंसेपरेबल. थॉट एंड एक्शन आर इंसेपरेबल. उन्होंने क्या बोला था अकॉर्डिंग टू द आइडियलिज्म? माइंड एंड सेल्फ कांट बी सेपरेटेड. ओके, अब नाउ दे आर सेइंग थॉट एंड एक्शंस आर inseparable, but they give more importance to the action rather than thought. Okay, next, epistemology, from where we get knowledge. Okay, idealism, if you do, you know, one isms na, if it is clear in your mind and you learn the other things, okay, then it will easy for you to learn the other isms also. Okay, idealism talks about the we get the knowledge through, from where we get the knowledge through rational faculties, through insight. Mind is the gateway of the knowledge. But here in the pragmatism, experience is the source of attaining knowledge. Interaction, the person gains knowledge through experience-based activities. Knowledge based on common experience is true, genuine, and worthy. Emphasis, function, knowledge, and understanding. Pragmatists stand for knowledge which has utility and which is acquired through experience. Knowledge gained through experience is the true and useful. Project method is a scientific method of acquiring knowledge, which was given by the Kilpatrick, disciple of John Dewey. Okay, guys. Next, axiology means theory of values. Values are not eternal, not permanent. Idealism ने क्या कहा था? What the idealism has said that values are permanent, values are eternal. They are saying, pragmatism are saying values are not eternal, not permanent. Values are not intrinsic. They are no absolute value. Values are produced, created by human being for the welfare of society. Pragmatism says that nothing is a true or good forever. The pragmatism rejects transcendental value and insists that all goods are within the reach of experience and they are to be attained here and now. अब now we talk about educational implications. Aims of education, curriculum and ये गलत लिखा गया axiology, यहाँ आएगा method of instructions. Okay, right? So aims of education according to pragmatism is education as a social process, instilling democratic value, development of a child's power and abilities, preparing the child for future, education a continuous reconstructing of experience, proper adjustment, all round development. ये सब होनी चाहिए according to the pragmatism. Curriculum, syllabus कैसा होना चाहिए? How the syllabus should be according to the pragmatism? According to the pragmatism, they stress experience based curriculum, not subject matter. They give priority to the physical sciences. ये देखो, ये सब उससे उलट है. It is the opposite side of the, okay. In the idealism, they was giving priority to the humanities, social sciences. But here they are giving priority to the physical sciences. Curriculum on learning by doing principle. Totality of experience they talk about. Okay. And in the last, they believe that all education is learning by doing. Curriculum or last, method of teaching. According to the pragmatism, method of teaching is learning by doing. Problem solving method means teacher should teach to the student from that way, learning by doing, problem solving method, catering to child interest, project method, activity based method. So guys, we are done with pragmatism also. Okay. Now the third philosophy we are doing naturalism. ये बड़ी simple है. It is very simple, right? 5 minutes में we'll discuss it. Okay, naturalism. Up again, naturalism, third Western school of philosophy. We will discuss meaning and history of naturalism, major facts, educational implications. Naturalism. Under a naturalism, you must remember the name of a Jean-Jacques Rousseau. So according to this philosophy, the basis of the world is matter. This philosophy talks about reality lies in the matter. Okay. Idealism talks about reality lies in the ideas. Pragmatism talks about reality lies in the action. और ये क्या कह रहे हैं? What the naturalism is saying, reality lies in the matter. Reality lies in the nature. Okay, matter and nature are same thing. Okay, matter and nature are same thing. Reality lies in nature. Means here you have to remember one thing, because this is also an exam preparation class. So important tips are, in every talk, whether you have to talk about metaphysics of naturalism, epistemology of naturalism, axiology of naturalism, they all are from the nature. means metaphysics of naturalism lies in the nature. Epistemology, knowledge lies in the nature. From nature, we get the knowledge, and axiology, values, we also get from the nature. So, under a naturalism, everything talking about nature. Even they believe that, they strong believe that, who are naturalists, they believe that everything lies in the nature. There is nothing beyond the nature nor behind the nature, right? So now we discuss it. According to this philosophy, the basis of a world is matter. Mind is also a form of matter or an element of matter or synthesis of both. According to the naturalism, only nature is everything, nothing is before and beyond it. Naturalists do not have any faith in God. They don't believe in the God. Okay, they having a faith on the nature. वो कहते हैं nature जो है ना, nature is a God, right? They apply natural laws to the whole of a human experience. In short, naturalism means belief in the nature and return to the nature. There is a nothing beyond nature, behind nature, and other than nature. Got it? When this question comes, you have to talk about, from that way. Up next, naturalistic philosophy believes in nature. Jean-Jacques Rousseau was the father of nature. Naturalism is also termed as materialism. Okay, because this all nature is they talk about the materialistic. Na? There is a nothing beyond nature, behind nature, and other than nature. Comenius Sumeya, he was a naturalist. He has said that one should live in nature and with nature in the first 7 years of life. This is the important quotation. I explain in the next slide. Okay, some of the name of the naturalist: Democritus, Epicurus, Comenius, Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Okay, so Democritus क्या कहता है? What the Democritus has said that Democritus, who was a naturalist, he said that living in the company of the nature provides one the best experience. Okay, living in the company of nature. Visit in the hill station, right? Visit where there is a lot of grass, lot of greenery. Okay, you will get the finest experience, said by the Democritus. Epicurus has said that away from the humdrum of the city life, there is a lot of noise now in the city life. Okay, away from the humdrum of city life and in the company of the nature is the finest experience. Means people should live in countryside rather than city. Now you are okay, you would be agree with me. Now many persons they are moving. Well, some has started again moving to the villages. Huh? Abhi, last 10 years, 50, 20 years, people are coming from villages to the city. Now for the peace, they are coming back to the countryside. Comenius has said one should live in the nature and with the nature in the first 7 years of a life. ये देखो first 7 years ना he has emphasized, even Rousseau has emphasized. Okay, this thing we have to understand. This is the most important, right? Jean-Jacques Rousseau has said that first 7 years of life is the age of nature. Guys, please give attention here. This is the most important under the naturalism. When the baby born, the first 7 years of life is the age of nature, said by the Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who was the founder of naturalism, father of naturalism. What does it mean? It means we should not put the child into the formal education system up to the 7 years of life. ये देखो, it against negative education. He called that, listen to me carefully, he called that type of education is the negative education. कई बार क्वेश्चन आता है sometime, what is the negative education by the naturalism? Negative education is that education when we put our child into the formal education system within first 7 years of life. Okay, now you have seen that, na? Well, in a nursery, pre-nursery, when the baby born up to the 3 years, there is a lot of rush of the parents. Anna, when the child goes to the 3 years, they put into the education system. Okay, Rousseau saying that, Jean-Jacques Rousseau is saying that it is a negative education. You are giving the negative education. What is the reason behind it? Please listen. According to the Jean-Jacques Rousseau, in the age of a 2, okay, this is a, it is also correct by scientifically, in a 2 years of a age, there is a lot of, there is a lot of activities going into the mind. Okay, it happens into the mind. There is a lot of connections of neurons. Okay, means on that type in the age of a second. Okay, when the baby goes to the 2 year of age, 2.5 year of age, there are a lot of connections are going inside in the mind. Okay, and he is getting on that time. This is called, okay, यहाँ पे नहीं लिखा हुआ. Okay, somos बोलते हैं उसको. The word is somos. Somos, SOMOS, somos. Okay, somos होता brain muscles. Okay, in the second year or second and half or 3 years, there are a lot of somos are developing in the mind of the child. Okay, means lot of connections are going to make it. And what we do that in the 3 years, 4 years of age, we start giving the formal lesson to the student. You have seen that, na? When we give the formal lesson to the student, then science says that, now the scientific it is also correct that वो जो neurons होते हैं, somos होते हैं, they don't develop because of the formal lessons. Okay, so this is called that this is the age of a nature. Let the baby learn from the nature. Okay, that's why na this concept, this is called the LKG, MKG, UKG concept. Na, do you know that who introduced this concept? Kindergarten concept, lower kindergarten, middle kindergarten. This concept is given by the Froebel. Who was a Froebel? Froebel was a naturalist. Yes, this is the reason, guys. Before giving the formal education, first the child put into the kindergarten system. What happens in the kindergarten system? Your child plays with the sand. Hana, he makes the house of the sand. He makes lot of things that, right? So these things happens now because this is the age of a nature. अब आपने देखा होगा, please read, I will suggest to all of you, please read the new education policy, which has already implemented. According to the new education policy, what is the new education policy? When the child would be in the first class or second class, there is a no exam. No exam. Yes, they will promote it to the first and second. The child will come into the school. He will play with the lot of activities, lot of rides, right? Because this is the age of a nature. Yes, now in from last year this policy has implemented, right? When the child will go into the third class, then the formal lesson will start. Yes, according to the new education policy, right? Like till what we are doing that, when the baby comes in the age of a 3, we start giving the formal education system. We start into the first class, second class. So this is called the negative educations. Okay, you got it. Now what is the fundamental principle of a naturalism? According to the naturalism, the universe is a huge machine. Man is a part of the machine and a complete machine in himself also. Number second, life comes from the dead matter. ये देखो ना, he believes in the matter and is a sum total of a physical and chemical reaction. Number third, man, because his own nature is the supreme creation of nature. The present life is the real life. Reality is of the external natural only. Unchanging laws of a nature explain all events and occurrence of the world. So they believes in the nature. They believes in the ponds, rivers, this material. They believe in the matter. Metaphysics, epistemology, or axiology, what are according to the naturalism? It is a very simple. According to the metaphysics theory of reality, naturalists believe in the reality of a matter and they affirm that nature is a matrix in which all reality lies. In each cell of a matrix, reality lies. God and religion. According to the God and religion, what they have the point, they have the view. Naturalists believe in the reality of nature. God is a supernatural, but they do not believe any supernatural power because they think that supernatural power is a nature. They believe in the nature, na? Well, they don't talk about beyond the nature and behind the nature. Everything they have strong feeling, strong belief that everything reality is from the nature. God is a supernature. That's why they don't believe in the God. They don't believe in accept the any supernatural power. Naturalist God is the within nature. ये देखो. Okay, the God be naturalist God is within the nature. We all things get from the nature. All laws, procedure, occurrence happens in the nature. The concept of self. Well, from where we have come, naturalists are not much interested in the concept of a soul of a man. The human self is seen by the naturalism as a result of nature. According to them, man is a child of nature in the evolutionary process that have been at work in the universe so far. खत्म हो गया. Epistemology क्या है? Theory of knowledge. From where we get knowledge. Naturalist says that in terms of a theory of a knowledge, naturalism highlights the value of scientific knowledge through observation, tours and travels. Okay, we get the knowledge through tours and travel, specific observation. They believe by exploring nature, we get the knowledge. It also lays emphasis on the empirical and experimental knowledge. Here, I want to keep your attention on a one point. My dear friends, have you ever thought we start a school? Hana? When we start a school in the morning, we start with the prayer. Got it? We start with the prayer. There is a one or two tour in the activities. Hana, we take the student to the tour and travel, right? And in the first, you have seen that we take the classes of science and others. So it means when we start our school, we start the school with the prayer. It means we are following the idealism philosophy. Okay. We are taking the students from the tours and travels, and we say that get from the knowledge from tours and travels. We are also following the naturalism. Okay. When we teach the science, we teach in the laboratory. We are also using the pragmatism also. Right. So what is the education? Now you have come to know that na every isms comes from the education, right? So we should, when the teacher has to teach, he should have the knowledge of every isms. This is the way he can teach the student better. Okay, we cannot reject that this is not right. Third is axiology or theory of values. According to them, there is no absolute good or evil in the world. Values of life are created by human needs and conditions of life because need conditions go on changing. Hence, values are subjective and relative. खत्म हो गया ये हमारा लास्ट रहेगा एजुकेशनल इंप्लीकेशंस एम्स ऑफ एजुकेशन करिकुलम एंड मेथड ऑफ टीचिंग अकॉर्डिंग टू द naturalism. According to the naturalism, the first aim of education is a self-expression. This thing you have to develop. We develop the students now, go to the stage and give the lecture. Huh? This is a self-expression. So guys, we also use the naturalism in our education system. When we say the student, okay, go to the stage and start giving the lecture. Okay, we are, you can say that we are motivating the student for self-expressing, right? Child-centered. We also take care of need of the child. We teach to the student according to the need and interest of the child. We are using the naturalism philosophy. Freedom of the child, adjustment to the environment, progressive preparation for struggle for life means everything we have to use, but we do not have to stick on a particular part. It means the teacher must have the flexibility. Okay. Always remember the outcome of the student totally depends upon the teacher. If the student is weak, remember, I'm giving you the bold definition. Student is never ever weak in this world, in this planet. Only the weakest teacher. Got it? When you are any of the student gets the less marks, it means that responsible is teacher. Might be teacher doesn't having the full knowledge of this activities educational process, right? Having might be he's not good, the behavior of teacher is not good with the student. Getting this is the reason na B.Ed M.Ed this concept, this is a teaching methodology, B.Ed or M.Ed, right? After doing the B.Ed, M.Ed, in a true sense, we can truly teach to the student, right? But without the B.Ed or M.Ed, we teach. Sometimes, guys, we cheat the student actually, okay? But when we, without knowledge of B.Ed or M.Ed, when we start teaching, okay? Curriculum. According to the naturalism curriculum syllabus, how the syllabus should be? No rigid curriculum. Naturally, why? Because they are giving freedom to the child. So how you can make the rigid curriculum? आपने देखा होगा ना 10 years 15 years before there was a very rigid curriculum, even the students started the suicide. Huh? Now curriculum are coming so flexible because you cannot teach to the student by authoritarian way, right? Means you have to cater the need of the student, you have to teach according to the student's level. Basically the problem is that you do not have such kind of a knowledge, deep knowledge, patience, okay, so you put blame on the student. All right, priority to the physical sciences, they gives the according to the pragmatism, they believe that they give priority to the physical sciences. Method of teaching, observation method. Naturally, when we talking about the naturalism, है ना, when we give the assignment to the student, we say to the student, go into the nature, observe the nature very keenly, see that how the water is coming from the from the higher end, right? How the sunlight is coming in the jungle, huh? Look at all the things, observe the nature very keenly. Naturally, we have to give the observation method. That's why uh, experimental method, playway method, heuristic method, learning by experience. That's why now these all method we should have knowledge. Okay. And according to the idealism, pragmatism, lecture method, demonstration method, and laboratory, we should have the knowledge. Then after mixing all the things, getting all the knowledge, then one teacher can truly and effectively teach to the student. This is the reason, right? So we are done with all the three philosophy. Now next is a existentialism. Okay, I close my lecture here, right, guys? अब here ना, actually I show you the notes. Okay, अब ये देखो, ये लास्ट ईयर पेपर है, ये देखो लास्ट ईयर पेपर का 7th क्वेश्चन वी आर डिस्कस्ड. हाँ, 6th क्वेश्चन, ये देखो, सी द 6th क्वेश्चन. ये देखो, what do you mean by naturalism? Again I highlighted it. ये देखिए, please see it. This is the last year paper and 6th question. What do you mean by naturalism? Describe the educational implication of naturalism for aim, content, and method of teaching. Just we have done it. Here, first we have to define naturalism. Okay, 1.5 page. The rest of the 5 pages, we have to talk about educational implication, means aims of education. What are the aims of a naturalism? Why self-expression, freedom of the child, according to the need of the child, right? Then we have to talk about curriculum. Curriculum may we have to talk about, they give priority to the physical sciences. Then last may method of teaching. Method of teaching, observation method, experimental method, heuristic method. These all things we have to define in detail, right? And in the last conclusion. तो लास्ट ईयर पेपर भी हमने ये देखो डिस्कस कर लिया. तो सिमिलरली ये देखो, ये 2 क्वेश्चंस आए हैं इंडियन स्कूल ऑफ फिलोसफी से, राइट? ये देखो 4th क्वेश्चन देखो, व्हाट इज ए संख्या? ये नोट्स में आई हैव गिवन टू यू. व्हाट इज ए संख्या? दिस इज ए इंडियन फिलोसफी. व्हाट इज ए संख्या? डिस्क्राइब इट्स एजुकेशनल implication. Means 1 page, 1.5 page, we have to talk about the Sankhya philosophy, and rest of the 4 pages, 5 pages, we have to talk about aims of education, method of teaching, and curriculum, right? और ये देखो 5th क्वेश्चन देखो, discuss the nature of reality. Nature of reality means metaphysics, knowledge. Knowledge means epistemology, values. Values means axiology. So what the examiner is demanding from us? Examiner is demanding from us, discuss the metaphysics, discuss the epistemology, discuss the axiology, ऑफ एजुकेशन अकॉर्डिंग टू द वेदांत स्कूल ऑफ इंडियन फिलोसफी। तो ये दो फिलोसफी हैं, सांख्या और वेदांत फिलोसफी। इट इज ए वेरी सिंपल, इट इज गिवन इन द नोट्स, राइट। तो ये आपको यू हैव टू डू इट। तो ये सारा पेपर वही है। और ये सेकंड क्वेश्चन वी आर ऑलरेडी डन। व्हाट इज एजुकेशनल फिलोसफी? ब्रिंग आउट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन फिलोसफी एंड एजुकेशन, राइट। और ये थर्ड इज व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय नेचर ऑफ नॉलेज? क्रिटिकली कमेंट अपॉन नॉलेज, राइट। तो ये सारे हो गए। लास्ट देखिए एट्थ क्वेश्चन, हाईलाइट द कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ ए गांधी जी थॉट ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ए एजुकेशन। ओके, अब यू नो व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इन द एट्थ क्वेश्चन। अब एट्थ क्वेश्चन में यू डू नॉट हैव टू डिफाइन वेयर द गांधी जी हैज बॉर्न, व्हाट इज द वाइफ नेम ऑफ गांधी जी। ओके, गांधी जी क्या किया? नहीं, यू हैव टू टॉक अबाउट एजुकेशनल फिलोसफी ऑफ गांधी जी, मीन्स educational implication. You have to talk about aims of education by the Gandhi ji, right? You have to talk about method of teaching by the Gandhi ji. You have to talk about curriculum according to the Gandhi ji. और लास्ट में conclusion, it is written in the notes. Okay, ये लास्ट में ये पढ़ लेना, लॉजिकल एम्पिरिसिज्म, ये भी इजी है। ओके, तो ये सारे क्वेश्चन हो गए डिस्कस हमारे। और ये देखो फंक्शंस ऑफ एजुकेशनल फिलोसफी, है ना, वी हैव डिस्कस। व्हेन यू विल डू द बुद्धिज्म, बुद्धिज्म भी आपके सिलेबस में, बुद्धिज्म और अरबिंदो, इंडियन स्कूल ऑफ फिलोसफी, एजुकेशन थॉट ऑफ अरबिंदो, और लास्ट में रियलिज्म, राइट गाइस। सो वी आर डिस्कस, ये देखो सारा का सारा ना फ्रॉम दिस, ये देखो मैंने हाईलाइट किए हुए हैं। ये देखो सेकंड क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट इज एजुकेशन फिलोसफी, ब्रिंग आउट द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन फिलोसफी एंड एजुकेशन, राइट। ये सारा का सारा सेकंड क्वेश्चन, राइट, वी हैव डिस्कस्ड। और ये देखो फोर्थ क्वेश्चन, व्हाट इज ए सांख्या फिलोसफी, डिस्क्राइब इट्स एजुकेशनल इंप्लीकेशन। ये देखो पहले सांख्या के बारे में यू हैव टू टॉक, देन ये देखो फंडामेंटल प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ ए सांख्या फिलोसफी, देन ये देखो सांख्या एंड मेजर पोस्टुलेट्स, मतलब यू कैन डिस्कस बट इन ए वेरी शॉर्ट वे, राइट, मेटाफिजिक्स, एपिस्टेमोलॉजी और एक्सियोलॉजी, बट ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट एजुकेशनल इंप्लीकेशन, एम्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, करिकुलम एंड मेथड ऑफ टीचिंग, यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन लॉट। ओके, तो यहां पे ये देखो फिर आगे सांख्या फिलोसफी के ये एक्सियोलॉजी खत्म, ये देखो यहां से स्टार्ट हो गया, ठीक है। वो देखो एक ही पेज का था, दैट वाज वॉर वन पेज। ये तो रेस्ट ऑफ ए 3 और 4 पेजेस ऑफ एम ऑफ एजुकेशन ऑफ सांख्या फिलोसफी। ये देखो एम्स ऑफ एजुकेशन, करिकुलम, मेथड, ये देखो सारे मेथड, ये अल्टीमेट एम ऑफ एजुकेशन, ये देखो लिबरेशन, डेवलपमेंट ऑफ वैल्यूज, है ना। यू हैव सीन दैट ना, विल मोर पेजेस ऑफ, मींस यू हैव टू सी वेयर एग्जामिनर इज गिविंग मोर emphasis, he is giving the more emphasis of educational implication, then you have to talk more about aims of education, curriculum and method of teaching. Okay, फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन ये देखो, डिस्कस नेचर ऑफ रियलिटी, नॉलेज, वैल्यूज, गोल्स ऑफ द वेदांता फिलोसफी। ये देखो वेदांत फिलोसफी, ये इंडियन स्कूल ऑफ फिलोसफी है, राइट, वेदांत फिलोसफी। ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखो हमारा है नेचुरलिज्म के ऊपर। व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय नेचुरलिज्म? जस्ट वी हैव डिस्कस द नेचुरलिज्म, एम्स कंटेंट एंड मेथड, मींस एजुकेशनल इंप्लीकेशंस। ये नेचुरलिज्म सारा आ गया, ये देखो ये सारा ये मैंने वहीं यहीं से उठाए हैं। ओके, इन द पीपीटी, लिविंग इन द कंपनी ऑफ नेचर प्रोवाइड्स द बेस्ट एक्सपीरियंस। ये तो जीन जैकस रूसो, यहाँ पे नेगेटिव एजुकेशन के बारे में मैंने ना आई हैव डिस्कस्ड, ये देखो नेगेटिव एजुकेशन, इसमें पढ़ लेना नेगेटिव एजुकेशन का, ठीक है। Do not put the child into the education system up to the 7 year of a life. Okay, this is a negative education as said by the Jean Jacques Rousseau, because on that time there is a development of a somos. Somos is the brain muscles in the mind of the students. Okay, we start giving the formal lesson to the student. This is the reason when you put your child up to the 5 or 6 years na, after the 5 or 6 year na, you put the child into the education system, see the result, he would be more intelligent, राइट। ये सारा का सारा वो आ गया आपका नेचुरलिज्म का आ गया, ठीक है गाइस। सेवंथ क्वेश्चन देखो, डिफाइन प्रैग्मेटिज्म, ये प्रैग्मेटिज्म के ऊपर आ गया सारा, है ना, प्रैग्मेटिज्म का हमारा टोटली का किया था। तो फ्रॉम दैट वे ये सारा का सारा आपका नोट्स ही डिफाइन किए हुए हैं लास्ट तक, ठीक है गाइस। सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस लेक्चर, राइट। तो नेक्स्ट क्लास आई विल टेक आफ्टर 4 days, राइट। नेक्स्ट क्लास वुड बी ऑफ द फोर्थ पेपर, टीचर एजुकेशन। ओके, एंड इफ देयर इज ए any rest you want to understand regarding the paper 1, okay, next class I'll take on Thursday or Friday. Okay. Then after that, I'll take the class on. Again, there are two holidays. One is 25th of Sunday. 26th again is a Janmashtami. There is a holiday, 25th and 26th. Okay. We'll take one or two classes over there also. Most probably up to 26th, 27th, tak, all our four paper we will discuss. Okay. So then after that, you have, 10, 12 days to learn it. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir ji.